didn't pick it up. Thank you for reminding me. So that was the Body Matters meditation. So here we are. The Body Matters class continues. We just had our Body Matters meditation. And it is great. And like I said, it is all based on the ideas that we hold about it, about this thing, about who we think that we are, about where we think that we are, about, say, in what context we actually seem to live. See, this is all based on ideas. So I'm including this in because you cannot avoid having that as your experience momentarily. You know, that's our starting point. So in your awakening, you heard different things like, okay, there's none of this is real. It is mesmerism. It is not real. It is, you know all this. I don't have to tell you that. So why am I bringing this body idea back into the whole story again? Is then to be completely honest to yourself about it. So it really helps to be honest in where you find yourself. Like you can say to yourself, okay, this and this concept about body is what I know as a concept, but is that your experience? No, it's not your experience, or maybe it is. That's wonderful too. So what I mean to say with this is then, if it is not your experience, it is really helpful to express to yourself or to admit to yourself, like, well, actually, this is the experience I have of myself. This is the way that I see myself, and then you give that shape in the way that you are experiencing it. Like, because otherwise you keep hanging on to certain concepts on a mental plane where you hope that you will start to slide right into the concept and make it real for yourself. But see, then you would do the same as what you have done in becoming like a separate identity. So that would just be a repetition. You could call that a spiritual ego. It's like somebody who's full of, say, concepts about spirituality, but actually doesn't have a profound experience of what he's sharing. So that is good to know. So it is always physician, heal thyself, like a therapist or healer, heal yourself. That is not anything else. It's like it starts with you, with your experience. It is not about what you would like to experience. No, this is about what am I experiencing? Can I just be honest about what I experience? And I love to admit how I feel, how I experience the things that I hear, where I find myself in this, as far as I can see that for myself. Why is that so important to admit it? Well, see, if you think that you need to be something that you are not, you're probably not going to learn that. You know, that's one thing. And the other thing is admitting that you don't know who you are opens the door for you to experience the knowing of who you are. You can only experience it when you are willing to admit that you don't know. Otherwise you cannot learn it. It literally cannot come to you because you already know who you are. You think that you know who you are. So this is what I'm saying. It's like, see, then you see the concept comes in between as a block for your experience. Like, so that's why I emphasize, say, acceptance a lot and patience. Like acceptance is really then take time to feel, experience yourself the way that you are. You don't have to be anything else, because otherwise you think that you would make another you that would be like the perfect you or the spiritual you that you have to make. You're so accustomed to the idea that you make something, that you make a personality or make yourself in a certain sense. So this is then totally helpful to see, like, okay, that's not what I have to do. Apparently this works in a whole different way, and I've the slightest idea how it exactly works. That is great as an admission. Now you can actually learn something. Something can be revealed to you. So you see, like with all of this, like it opens doors if you just are completely honest. And completely honest is then admitting the craziest things that are not very spiritual at all. And not being shy about it, just admitting it. It's like, this is where I find myself. I can pretend, but hey, that's not going to help me. I'm just going to accept, for a moment, I accept the place exactly where I find myself. I'm actually, say, occupied with ideas about my body. That on a daily basis, there's something that really keeps me busy about my body. See, that's an honest admission. And which is okay. So you want that to change, of course. You want some healing to occur. That's wonderful. But that's not where you find yourself right now. So to admit then is in fact to include the body in. It's like, this is exactly where I find myself. I have no idea what to do with it. And I would love it to change. I'm open and willing to receive the healing and see it from there. But I have no idea how to get out of it. See, all these things that are basically very ego-deflating are actually helpful for your awakening. And not that you determine how your awakening will go, because it's literally like what you are already is. But you want to get to know that. That's what is different. Because we know these expressions like know thyself, you know. It's like, why is that so important to know myself? Like, I am who I am, right? So why am I supposed to know myself? And then it really comes down to this. It's like, there's nothing else to know than yourself. There is nothing else to know but yourself. And we come to that in the ideas that I shared today too, about the body and the dream. So there is nothing but knowing yourself. That is all there is. And see, that's a concept if I share it like this. Like, well, what does that mean? Okay, what that means I'm not going to say to you. But where it puts your focus on is this. To know yourself, you cannot get to the place where you know yourself without including yourself in. Otherwise there would be something outside yourself that knows what it is, and that's not you. Like, no, we need you right on that spot, so to speak, in order for you to go through. You can call it a birth channel, or what I said the other day is like a black hole. It sounds a bit scary, but it's like, okay, birth canal. We're familiar with that, the birth canal. So you have to go through that, but you cannot run away from it or thinking that it happens somewhere outside of you. No. So there's a real physical alignment taking place for you to literally enter into it and say, as an opportunity to be born again. So, and is that a physical experience, becoming a man of spirit? Yes. Yes. The last thing you would expect, right? You would just happy that suddenly your crown is like on fire or something, that flames run out of the top of your head, and that doesn't do anything else. You know, you got that from the Bible, right? When the Holy Spirit came down, it's like, well, that is great. That's part of it too. That's really great. But they did not at that time interview the ones who are actually experiencing it, because it is also connected to your physicality. It is literally also a physical experience, of course. So that's really interesting, isn't it? So I never thought of it like this either, but that's really what is given us in this moment. It's like, now if you would have asked someone who actually had a flame on his head, so to speak, like you read in the Bible, you probably would hear from them that they actually experience this in a very physical way. Because this is where you use your body for, to experience things. And as long as you hold ideas about it and you include it in your practice of waking up, it is still there, and you use it for awakening. You use it as a way to remember. So I'm not going in too much detail about it, because that's not necessary either. But it's good to see the fundamental idea was we have to include all of you in. All your ideas you hold about yourself are included, because they need to be undone in you. But for that we need your presence, all of it, all of you. So that's good to know. So another aspect then is also, and then we come closer to the idea of the body in the dream, is this. It's like the body, if there would be an happening outside yourself that is taking place, like an awakening that is taking place outside of self, and you would not be included in it as you know yourself, then there would be a possibility of something outside yourself. That an occurrence can take place outside yourself. See, and this where is really where it doesn't come together, so to speak. That cannot be the case. So using the teaching of Joel says this too, but also A Course in Miracles, it is this, is like, how is this about cause and effect? Because what I'm seeing out there is an appearance, is a reflection of what I think, right? We got that far. It's like I'm actually seeing something that I put out there and receive it back. Like it is coming from me. I'm the cause of that. And I use this in a double way, like you're the cause of what you see, right? So these ideas you see reflected as a mirror. It's a reflection, just like a mirror. You look to it and it comes back to you because you actually put it there and now it comes back. So that's easy to grasp and easy to understand too. So the second part then is, you are an effect of God. God is your cause. See, that seems like a contradiction, because you think that God is now outside of you, thinking that you're the effect of God, thinking that cause and effect are apart, because that's the way that you're used to thinking. Now with this it is different. It's like, no, you're an effect of God, but cause and effect are indistinguishable. They are one thing. So it's like, so at the same time, you're the cause too. The cause and effect are indistinguishable. So it's one thing. So now we come then to this. And that was why I used the idea of body, and I used the idea of that you're the cause, like literally you're the cause of your perception. When you are, say, aligning with the reality of who you are, coming in communication with your source, then what you see will be coming from there, from your source, from the source by which you are an effect. The same as what you will see will be an effect of your true source. So, and this is what's being said as like true perception. It's like you look beyond the appearances, which are reflections, into the reality behind all of it. And that doesn't come necessarily with forms. It doesn't come with forms. It's like, no, it's a recognition. It is an extension of this communication. But see, the thing that's really interesting to me, and I didn't hear it, but of today, that's why I share it with you, is then, so you're the cause of what you see, but when you connect with your source, literally, you're actually aligning your source and your own cause and effect together. And you can actually come into true perception. You can actually see with this, with spiritual vision. So, and then, well, I thought it was great, because it's like, no, we need you in that. We need you in the equation. We cannot do it without you. It's not like separate from you, there's something occurring and suddenly boom, kabam, there's the awakening of you. It's like, no, you're definitely included in this. It's happening through you. And that's where it's, say, literally you give birth to yourself, like the same as the idea of the caterpillar and the butterfly. You wouldn't know as a caterpillar how it would be to be a butterfly, and vice versa. So now becoming a butterfly again is then to go through this shift, because you as a human separate identity never were a butterfly. So now it's like you come into this change and you see that suddenly you literally pop out as a butterfly in that sense. So that's so great as a comparison. So, and that is also then the newness of it, and the whole different quality that it has. But it's still completely you, even though it has a completely different form, or has no form at all, or is just consciousness. It is free of form. So with the meditation that we did, the body matter meditation, you actually see that when we start to stand up and find a place where we actually stand in the continent that we're on, in the universe that we find ourselves, in the Milky Way, seeing that there are billions of other Milky Ways, and suddenly it's like, yeah, you disappear into it, because it seems like you have your place and no place in this whole universe. That becomes really interesting, but you actually feel yourself expand when you do it. That's also interesting. So it's like all of this is a recognition. Like you know, that's the interesting thing too. You know about perfection. That's why you cannot stand failure, and you cannot stand things that aren't complete. It's like, no, perfection is, you know, perfection. That's why this is so hard for you to be in a dream of separation, of lack, and of always missing something, of failure, disease, disaster, death. Like, no, this is not how you know yourself. That's why that feels so unnatural. So this is also great to remember. So, and then the interesting part too about the figure in the dream, the body walking around, like there's no dream without a body. And that's interesting to see that too. It's like you cannot dream without using the body or having bodies involved. Otherwise, what would there be? So that's an interesting thing. So for the continuation of your dream, if that is one of the things that you want, it is like the body is essential. So for the undoing of the dream and the waking up, the body becomes less and less important. So that's why we decide to sit still for 10 minutes or do our lesson and just completely connect within to and experience holy instances or miracles in which you literally are suddenly you shift out of your body awareness and feel the connectedness. So this is like your body becomes, it becomes totally different. It's going to be used differently because you used it literally to do something in your dream and to make something happen here and to make something of yourself too, a person that does something or shows something or who knows what you do. So you needed that to manifest a separate self and give it shape. And you actively keep doing that, otherwise it is nothing. Like it is literally not there. So you keep giving it energy until you don't. You keep confirming its existence until you don't. So, and when you don't have any thoughts about it anymore, any specific thoughts about it anymore, it does disappear. It's like, apparently it has fulfilled its function. So this is really interesting too. One of the things that was said by Jesus too in the Course in Miracles is this: is like, there's not a moment in which you did not. No, I have to say it differently. You've never experienced your body in the now, in the present moment. You never experienced your body in the present moment. Like, it is always related to past or future. In the here and now, you're actually not able to feel it at all. And that's really interesting too. So this is where we come to our healing moment together, because it's like the moment that you are connecting within, asking for healing or communication or entering into prayer, or however you want to call it, is then you literally let go of your ideas about yourself and everything that seemed to be occurring in the moment before or later, or that you are anticipating. Now you let it all go, and for this one moment you allow yourself to become completely present. So when you become completely present, suddenly there's an alignment that takes place, or suddenly you literally connect with your source. It's like there's a shift taking place. Literally, just like I said, there's a miracle happening, because it's like a shift into invisibility. It is an experience of yourself that you know very well, but has nothing to do with this place. So this is where you experience the present moment. It is complete and whole and perfect of itself. It doesn't need anything, and you have a total recognition with it when you experience it. So the body is always experienced in the past or anticipated in the future. So it's like, yeah, but the pain that I experience, do I experience that yesterday, or do I experience it in the past? I'm experiencing it right now. I got pain. Yes, but that has then nothing to do with entering into this present moment. It's like, well, this one moment, you're actually free of it, because you will not experience your body. So it's like there's when time collapses, as you could say, it's like when time collapses, you literally have a possibility of experiencing an infinite moment. Like, how long is that going to take? Maybe just an instant, maybe a couple of minutes, or maybe just a short time. It really doesn't matter. But it's like you experience the infinity in that moment. You experience that it has no limits, and it's not based on your ideas at all. So basically you experience the freedom from ideas, and that is just your natural inheritance. That's just your natural way of being present, in fact. So here we are, still breathing deeply into our belly, so that also the deeper feelings are connected to this moment, and they're allowed to come up, and you can release them if you feel like doing that, if you're able to do that right now. See, that is all helping to release ideas, because the ideas are all also stored in this memory setup that you walk around in. Like, you literally store certain memories in there, and by releasing it, they come free. They are free to go. They're free to go. Okay, so thank you for your attention. Thank you for being part of this. And in the class we continue with some questions or some things that we discovered. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.